we went into a roadside diner cum garage that filled the van with petrol and basically get some stuff to eat because we were on the outskirts of Sarajevo and we were going back to Belgrade. We went into the roadside diner and the sun was absolutely magnificent. When we came out, we were knee deep in snow. I kid you not. Welcome to the Balkans. So it took us 6 hours to get from Sarajevo to Belgrade, to the northern suburbs of Belgrade, to the Soviet era tower block estate where I was staying. Vasil, because I was playing with the Vasil Hadjimanov band, his wife did my laundry. So I basically dumped my laundry, which she kindly washed for me again. Which Serbian people are lovely people. And the people that I played with were Serbs, and they had friends everywhere. Croatia, Bosnia, you name it. So we basically had, when we got to Belgrade, time for one Turkish coffee. And we had to go to the central station, railway station in Belgrade, because we were getting a train to Montenegro. And it was a sleeper train. So we were leaving at 8 o'clock, and we actually got in at 8 o'clock the next morning, having gone through 200 tunnels and gone over 400 bridges. And those trains had been working non-stop every single day since 1976, since Tito opened that railway line. When we got to Podgorica, the capital of Montenegro, Montenegro was a small place, but we left Sarajevo and Belgrade in the snow. When we got to Podgorica in Montenegro, it was summer. It was like the Mediterranean. I'd been to Monte Carlo. It was like Monte Carlo. Incredible. I was staying in a dacha, in a house that the land of the man who owned the house, his land went into Albania. So I could see Albania from where I was, and a 5-minute leisurely stroll down the road, you were in Albania. Now, when we got the kind of music we were playing with Vasil was kind of post Miles, kind of 1980s Miles, and kind of pre-Jacko Weather Report with a Balkan flavour. So I kind of knew that music, but I also knew the kind of Balkan stuff. I could play the scales, knew the rhythms. I could work with that. But before we get to anything, we had the famous Rakia episode. The owner of the club, because the club we were playing in was the premier club in Podgorica and probably one of the best clubs in Montenegro, and the owner of the club poured out a glass of rakia. Now, rakia is kind of plum brandy, which is ubiquitous all over the former Yugoslavia. Panacea, takes away all the difficulties, all the problems. And so he said, you want to play in my club, you got to drink a rakia. And I don't drink, period. I don't touch it, actually. And I tried to explain to him that I don't drink alcohol. And he said, that's not my problem. He said, if you want to play in my club, you drink rakia. And it was a bit of a Mexican standoff. And so I said, I better do something here. So I grabbed the bottle of rakia from his hands and poured it over my head and had a shower in it. And basically just poured it all over. And he laughed and he said, Mark O'Leary, you can play in my club anytime, man. And that was that hurdle crossed. Next thing, the whole thing was we were playing there 4 nights, 3 times a night. So I hadn't eaten since we left Belgrade. I grabbed a bar of chocolate in the central station in Belgrade. I hadn't eaten anything. So the lads were going to play a set and I was going to have a dinner. And they basically gave me a 5-course dinner that I've never, ever seen the likes of. Not in Ballymaloe, nor anywhere. It was the kind of most amazing lunch I've ever seen in my life, actually. And I was just about to tuck in, and Vasil nodded his head at me and said, come here. He said, Mark, we're going down, man. You better get up here straight away. And I was like, okay, grand. And first of all, you're Irish, you're exotic. Second of all, a bit of guitar, right here, right now. So I jumped on stage and Vasil started smiling. He said, that's it. That's it. And we had a fantastic engagement there. Made loads of friends, got on very well with everybody, and it was a bit of a hit actually. And also, we kind of crossed the shelling fence on this thing. It was quite funny when people say, when you after you've had a gourmet meal, there is a want for one to go out and have a burger. Well, I saw Vassal do that. We had an amazing meal, and the likes of which again I've never seen. And Vassal went out and went to a street vendor, bought a burger, and devoured it with everything on it. And I just couldn't believe that he would do it. So there you go. They do. Thank you very much for listening.